Ooh. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes, episode 236. Episode 236 of Tuck Rule Takes. The gang is all here, as was promised last week. Al is gracing us with his presence. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Al. Say hello. How you doing?
Yes, hello. How are you all doing? Sorry I couldn't make it last week. Had an emergency come up. Had to take care of it. Is what it is.
That's fine,
That's
man.
his
Life
life.
life happens. I wish that I didn't have to be on this episode, but yet here I am. I am Mike. I am here. Liam's here. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing, Liam. Because we all know Liam is happy. If you are living under a rock when you're listening to this, we are recording this at 7:42. I want to say still less than an hour since the big Celtics trade news of the offseason. Jaylen Brown got traded. We will, spoiler alert, that is going to be predominantly this entire episode. But we did say, Liam and I, last week that we wanted to see Al's continuation of our Patriots Mount Rushmore of underwhelming or bad draft picks. So we are going to have Al kind of let us know what those are. We'll have a quick little talk about that. And then, unless you guys object, I feel like we got to go right into the big news because even though this is a Patriots podcast, like I say, probably every week now, if you are listening, you're probably a fan of other New England teams as well. If you're like one of our hosts here, Liam, you may be a fan of Philadelphia teams as well, which kind of makes you a fraudulent Boston fan. But we won't speak on that right now until we get to that topic. So they can't hear you, Liam. Anybody watching just sees you doing the stupid fly Eagles fly thing, the same thing that Rodney Harrison did after he picked off Donovan McNabb. Yeah, exactly. Sit the fuck down. Al,
Yes.
Al, gotta
Yes.
toss it to you. Your Mount Rushmore of Patriots failed bad draft picks. We would love to hear it. Start the episode off just on a dour note so we can continue to go that route when we talk about the Celtics. So the floor is yours, sir. Sorry, I don't wanna give off too much main character energy. So the floor is yours.
Where was that last week, by the way? I didn't hear any of that.
You weren't here, so I figured, you know what? Fuck it. We'll be, I don't know. Liam can talk as much as he wants. I can be main character as much as I want, and then we'll go. So
Oh,
it's
that's
up to
never
you
good.
now, Al. What's
That's
going on
never
with your picks?
that's never gonna die, and I love it. That's so funny. Okay, so my Mount Rushmore of Patriots draft picks, as much of a cop out as it is, I did pretty much the last 15 years, because let's be honest, the Patriots drafting the last 15 years, minus like Drake May and some picks here and there, Christian Gonzalez, has been pretty horrible. They've just been bad. So in this, I picked all offensive players because the Patriots defense is just really, really good. And they always have a really good defense, which is crazy. So here is my Mount Rushmore of Patriots bad draft picks. Number one, from 2013, and I'm going to go in chronological order from.
Hold on, quick question. Did you watch ours? Do you know what we
I
said?
don't.
Okay,
That's
cool.
why
Good.
I,
This is
I,
good.
I
You're
wanted
talking.
to do
Yeah.
that. So
Mhm.
I want to see if I have any repeats. My first one was a wide receiver taken in the second round, 2013. I'm going Aaron Dobson.
I
He
had that one.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay, so Aaron
Yep. We
Dobson,
talked about
obviously,
him.
we don't have to rehash it, but second round pick could come in, kind of help the Patriots kind of get back to the Super Bowl after not being there for like 10, well, really 3 years, but winning the Super Bowl in the last 10 years, but didn't amount to much, had some like foot and leg injuries and stuff like that, never really materialized. So, yeah, that was a swing and a miss. So, Aaron Dobson gets
Do
a
you
spot.
remember
Great
the
pick.
highlight reel one-handed backwards catch he made at Marshall that everyone blew up over?
I remember it vaguely, but yes.
Yeah, I tried to play it on the show. It didn't work out swimmingly well, but you still got the picture
But
of
we
it.
got it. We got the gist. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember watching that and being like, holy shit, we just got a sleeper. Like Wes Welker, Amendola, like they were all Texas Tech guys, and the Mike Leach offense just nuts. And I was like, we got another diamond in the rough here. And yeah, no, he was dog shit. He was actually terrible.
Yeah, he sucked. He was
Yeah.
not good. So yeah, that's my first pick. Second pick, 2019. You needed a wide receiver. You picked a wide receiver. He was awful. N'Keal Harry. And I still believe, and I was at this game when it happened, I still believe if N'Keal Harry doesn't get called out of bounds in that Chiefs game when he should have scored the touchdown, I think things might have been different for him. I really believe that.
It's like an alternate reality where if he makes that
Exactly.
touchdown, his
It
confidence
is.
is high. He breaks out into a Debo Samuels-esque rusher and
Mhm.
receiver, and just didn't.
It just didn't work out. And
Yep.
look, like you said, look at all the wide receivers you could have gotten in that draft. Now you have one of them in AJ Brown, which is great, but you waited 7 years to freaking get him. But anyways, that I digress. But
That's a
yeah,
good one. That's a very good one. Yeah,
N'Keal Harry, not good.
that's one of those flashpoint moments where like if you're a Patriots fan or really probably a football fan, but a Patriots fan especially, you know like what would the Patriots history, what would his future look like if he wasn't called out of bounds when he clearly was not out of bounds. So yeah, that's a
That
great
was
one.
probably
Liam
one of the
also had
most
that one as well.
egregious. Like it was so obvious that he was in, and I don't think the replay you could challenge it yet. But
No, nope.
that was tough.
Yeah, that was bad. So yeah, N'Keal Harry gets a spot on there. This one's up for debate. This one could be a little controversial, but I put Mac Jones on there and the reason I put Mac Jones on
I
there
had
is
him
because
too.
okay, he was the first quarterback post Brady. Now I know Cam Newton had his 1 year, but he was supposed to be the guy going forward. When we knew Cam Newton wasn't going to be the guy
No,
going forward, Liam.
Which
We
was
knew
very
he,
clear and very obvious.
some of the dullards of the group maybe, but the
yes,
insightful ones
Dullards.
tuned
dollars.
in, the
Do you
people who
even
were tuned into football
Do
knew.
you even know what that word means? No.
Dullard?
So shut up.
Of course, I know
So
what dullard is.
Mac Jones, he had a great rookie year, was an alternate on the Pro Bowl, and then everything just started going downhill and downhill and downhill. So he was finally traded in the offseason of 23, going into the 24 season. And yeah, he tried to fill Brady's shoes. He couldn't do it. Those were big shoes to fill anyway, and he fell flat on his face. I'm actually kind of glad that he's had some success in San Francisco. I know Jacksonville didn't do much, but it
Mhm.
feels like if you could go back in time, I feel like the 49ers would have taken Mac Jones at number 3 in that 21 draft, and then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But
Yeah, no, the Mac Jones one was the one that like I said, I picked him too. He was the first one that I had. My main thing, and I wanted to ask you too, do you think if Bill Belichick had handled it differently, or if there was a different coach or whatever it happened to be? Basically, the moral of the story is, do you believe the Patriots ruined Mac Jones? Because I think they did. It looked
thousand
like he had all the tools.
percent, yes,
Okay.
1,000% they did. I mean,
Yeah.
if Josh McDaniels had stayed, I mean, look at what he did in his first year with Drake May.
Mhm.
Just look, the proof is in the pudding right there. And everyone complains that Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach. He's a bad head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator. Literally won co-coach of the year this year in the this past season in the NFL.
People forget.
So, right. And then the last one for worst draft picks, my fourth spot, and then I have a couple honorable mentions I just want to throw out there just to kind of laugh a little bit. Cole Strange, 2022.
Yep.
First round.
None of us picked him, right?
No, he was one of our honorable mention ones. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Cole
good
Strange.
one.
I mean, Sean McVay literally laughed at the fact that the Patriots took Cole Strange in the first round. So that's everything you need to know right there. And very underwhelming. Like, isn't he going to start for Miami this year? Or didn't he like play in Miami a little bit?
I don't know. I
It
don't
was
know.
not this past season, but the season before.
Season before. Where was he last year? I forget.
He was out of the league.
There you go. So 3 years and then he's out of the league. Like, good job. And that was supposed to help Mac Jones with the
Mhm.
offensive line problems and everything. And there was a whole thing. So yeah, just to recap, Aaron Dobson, N'Keal Harry, Mac Jones, Cole Strange. I have 3 honorable mentions just really quick. Chad Jackson, 2006, another second round pick, wide
Yep.
receiver, another guy
Yep.
that looked like he had a ton of potential and then just fell flat on his face, similar to Aaron Dobson. And then we have to laugh about this one. The wide receiver duo of Jalen Polk and Javon Baker in the
I forgot about
2024
Javon
draft.
Baker, by the way. Completely forgot about him.
Yeah, he was going to make, what was the expression? He was going to make people in wheelchairs stand up, right?
Yeah, not a single one stood up.
Yeah, that was a really weird thing to say, and he definitely didn't back it up. But
Awesome
so yeah,
thing to say. No one stood up.
so how many of those did you guys pick in your Mount Rushmore?
So Liam had Nicole Harry, Nicole.
Nice.
God.
Yeah, boy.
Nikhil.
Where'd that one come from?
Yeah, I
Right.
know.
He had Nikhil Harry and Aaron Dobson. I had Mac Jones. We did honorable mention. We had Cole Strange. We talked about him, and Jalen Polk was like quickly mentioned because that's one of the ones where it's like it's obvious. You could have made your entire list and then a whole nother Mount Rushmore of all receivers. Does Josh Boyce ring a bell, Al?
Yes, yes, he does.
Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Chad Jackson, like you mentioned, Nikhil Harry. Like there were a ton that could go on
Yeah.
there.
Let me see if Al, do you remember Josh Boyce's NFL great moment?
I'm trying to remember.
You got to send that to him now,
Dude,
Liam.
it's
I
awesome.
why do I feel like it was a touchdown against like the Bucks or something?
So close. There's a B.
The Bears?
No. What?
Bengals?
So close.
Browns. There it
Yeah.
is.
So, but it wasn't a touchdown. You see, it was that great comeback that Gronk tore his ACL when TJ Ward dived into his knee in 2013 or whatever it was. So the Patriots are down 10 with like 2 minutes to go, whatever. They
Yeah.
score a touchdown, kick an onside kick, get the onside kick. There's like a minute left. Brady's driving for game. And for some fucking reason, Josh Boyce is on the field. And of course, Brady isn't looking his way. He's dishing the ball to everyone else. And then we're inside like the 30. Brady gets the snap out of the shotgun, looks right, uncorks the long ball. The announcer goes, Brady goes deep for Boyce. And I'm like, why the fuck is he doing this? And uh Boyce lays out for it in the back of the end zone and doesn't get anywhere close to it at all. And they end up calling
Not-
pass interference. It brings the Patriots down to the one. Danny Amendola runs a motion play, corner out into the end zone. Patriots win it. Never recorded a catch. That was his biggest moment. Motherfucker could draw pass interference like no one's business.
Love that. Team guy right there.
He is.
TEAM is in
Yeah.
team.
Yes, that's a Patriots.
Receivers, Al, do you remember Trey Nixon? He was on my
Mhm.
list because
Yep.
his whole thing was that was the final pick of Ernie Adams and he could run a 4.40 and like, he's skinny, but Ernie Adams, pink stripes, he knows something. And come to find out, just no. You
Just
could
a
have
dud.
picked Tyquan Thornton if you wanted to put someone on there.
Hmm.
Like there, you could have two Mount Rushmores all filled with wide receivers. That's how bad the Patriots were at drafting them. Like it is just horrendous. I had Chase Winovich on my list.
That's a good one.
Had 1.5 good years, got shipped out, and like you've just never heard from him. Razai Dowling,
Yeah.
just horrendous. Liam
Second
had
Madden.
Cyrus Jones, fumble machine, but then his fumbles actually helped the Patriots when he went to the Ravens. I'm sure you remember that kickoff. I think it was a playoff game too, if I remember. And then Dominique Easley as well, Liam had.
Dominic Heasley. That's a good one too. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First round pick.
Brian
Oh,
Stork was one I didn't bring up last week.
I will not take any Brian Stork slander. He was awesome.
But where is
But
he?
he like broke his neck and only lasted like 2 years. But
Bad
he
pick.
started in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks and
He
didn't let
did.
up a sack. He was awesome.
He did. He did. Malcolm Mitchell had a couple good games too. You
But
know
he's
what I
not a
mean? It's like
bust.
it's one of those things where like there are so many that you could pick. It's hard. Dude, there were some names that like Derek Rivers. Do you remember Derek Rivers, Al? Fucking
That name I
defensive
don't
end.
remember. No.
Exactly.
He was a
Exactly.
linebacker, right?
Yeah. He was like a linebacker, defensive end,
Yeah, he
type,
was good.
something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah, just who's who of just trash. Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene, back-to-back tight end picks. That was elite right there. You thought you were getting
That
the
was
next
sick.
Gronk and Hernandez. You got the
Yeah.
next like nobody. I don't think
When
either
I
of them are
heard
in the
like
league.
Dalton Keene's going to be playing like a hybrid fullback, I was like, this is going to be great. And
You were
he
all
didn't,
excited.
and then didn't play well.
Nothing. Yeah, just a horrid performance. But yeah, did you or I guess Al and Liam, did you have any other honorable mentions, Liam, that you thought of that we didn't mention before? And Al, I don't know if you thought of any in the 5 minutes that you that you said you thought of all yours.
No, I think that's it for me. I mean, just they were so bad for years and
Dude,
years and
so bad.
years.
So
Like
bad. But
it's
the thing was, with all
crazy.
those bad picks, you had your random Kyle Duggars from a school that was like, Lenore Ryan. Like what? And it turns out he's a really good player, good pick. But then with all those, you get your Marte Mapus where potential's there. He's going to be your safety linebacker hybrid. Turns out to be nothing. So yeah, it seems like in the two drafts that Vrabel has been the head of, they should be turning it around. We'll obviously see. I feel like you can't really tell until you're a few years past the draft. So hopefully, none of the Patriots that got picked the last 2 years are on this list, but we'll see. Do you guys have anything else you want to get to before we get to the Celtics news?
Nah, let's get into the Celtics news. We got to talk about that in detail and length
Yeah,
too.
that's going to be it. Before we get to that, I do want to give a shout out. I missed it last week, maybe even the week before, and I'm sorry. I want to give a shout out to two groups, Coach Guy Sports being the first one. The OGs of all of this. Al, you were a part of it. Then you and Coach Guy put Liam and I together, and then the rest, as they say, is history. The only, I would say, probably with the addition of Al, now the only dynamic duo left in Boston at this point. With what just happened with the Celtics. So
Although
thank you to Coach Guy Sports for that.
Drake May
Also,
and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
yeah, but we haven't seen him play yet. We haven't seen him play yet,
Hey
so
Liam,
can't
remember
really
when
call it.
you didn't think AJ Brown was coming here? Yeah, you suck,
I
huh?
I was adamant. I do I will
Yeah,
say
well,
I
you
did not
were
think that
you
was
were
happening.
wrong. You were wrong. Also, Sports Spider, that is Sports Spider with a Y. Sportspider.com. Go check them out. Go to the NFL tab, scroll down, you'll see the Patriots. Click that. We will be right there. If we're not, scroll down real quick. You'll see us there. You can listen to us at the zoo, on the trail, at your birthday, at a wedding, wherever you are. So thank you to Coach Guy Sports and Sports Spider. All right, big news. I think when this dropped, uh, like I said to start, we're a Patriots podcast, obviously, but we have to talk about it. It's the biggest news since I don't know. I guess since the AJ Brown trade, but the biggest Celtics news since maybe Kyrie. But the Boston Celtics have traded Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm just going to kind of lay it out and then we'll talk about it. The Celtics sent Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. The Sixers, in return, sent the immortal Paul George two first-round picks. Those picks are in 2028 and 2031, and two second-round picks, one in 2028 and one in 2030. So again, Jaylen Brown to the Sixers for Paul George, two firsts and two seconds. You know what, Liam? Since you are our Celtics guy, you have a Celtics podcast, The Rafters. Kick us off, man. How do you feel about this trade? And I think your perspective is interesting because you are a fan of both teams. So, how do
Yes.
you feel about this trade from whatever POV you want to take it from?
This is an absolutely egregious trade for the Celtics. I must say, out of all the players I love and have shrines to in my room, the biggest shrine of all is a Peruvian death shrine that I built to Paul George. When I tell you I can't stand Paul George, um, and the Celtics traded for him for Jaylen Brown, and even the picks that they get back, one of the picks is just a pick swap. They're not even getting one of the picks, which I thought was arguably almost, if Paul George wasn't so bad, the most disappointing of the bunch. Um, there's a ton of thoughts here, so I'll try and keep it on track. I think it's an absolutely terrible trade for the Celtics. I think it's an incredible trade for the Sixers. Um, Brown's going to absolutely destroy the Celtics every time he plays them now for the terrible way they mismanaged him for the last month. I think it's absolutely egregious that they ever humored the fact that they could ever trade him for that 7 foot tall Greek grocery bagger. And now they traded him for Paul George, which is arguably more insulting, which is super impressive because Giannis is dog shit. And now Brown's going to be pissed. You're trading him to a division rival, an all-time historic rival, even if it's not a rivalry because the Celtics kicked the Sixers' ass. They didn't this year, but like in the grand scheme of things, it has been very one-sided in the last couple of years. I really just don't understand the thought process here. A lot of the moves the Celtics made earlier, though I hate one of the players that they got. In theory, they dumped off Blanton and Vucevic, who I also thought was god awful, for Mitchell Robinson and oh
Mike
my
Conley.
God, who?
Mike Conley Jr.
Oh, Mike Conley, yes,
Yeah.
the floor general. So they signed those two guys, replaced two bad players with two solid enough players, I guess, and saved 2 million. So I'm like, okay, they're doing something here, and then all leading to this trade. And I like to think the Celtics aren't done. There has to be something up the sleeve because this is not a championship caliber team, but it's not far off. Like Brad Stevens can make, mountains out of a molehill. He's phenomenal. But people are pissed, understandably so. I don't get it, but I love it. And it fulfills the dream that my two freshman year roommates had back in 2012, 2000 or 2016, 2017 of the Celtics trading for Paul George. It's about 10 years too late, but they got it. And surprisingly, they're not very happy with something that they wanted 10 years ago. But hey, that's life. When life gives you lemons, sometimes those lemons are really old and have torn their ACL twice and broken their leg in the Olympics. So, and you just got to fucking eat them. So like sometimes that's how it goes. But yeah, like I think it's the Sixers are going to be awesome. Like they looked pretty damn good last year. The VJ Edgecombe, the team clearly believes that this dude can be contributing on a championship team. So I'm truly at a loss for words. When I checked it, I like rubbed my eyes and checked the news report again. I'm like, I can't believe
Mhm.
this. It's a really fucking dumb deal, and I don't know why teams hang their business out there like that. I never know if it's the media that figures it out and runs with it, or if it's the team that actually makes that news available. But if I was a team, I would never, ever let anyone know that I'm trading anyone. Ever. Ever. Like you never hear any rumors of the Spurs trading anyone in their entire 30-year history of success. There's never like, oh, the Spurs are shopping Hito Turkoglu. No, you never fucking hear that. It's just in the middle of the night, all of a
Hedo
sudden, Hito
Turkoglu.
Turkoglu's on the Magic. You're like, oh, what the fuck happened?
Hmm.
They don't tell you anything. That's the way an organization should be run. And because of that, they just fuck this whole thing up.
Yeah. Al, I feel like I want to hear. I'll go last again. Main character. Don't want to give off too much energy. Al, I want to hear. I want to hear your Liam. Did you talk enough? I just want to make sure that you spoke enough because I know that
I
was
think I got
also a
my
critique
quote in.
from our critics. Okay, cool. Al, your thoughts on the trade, and then I'll give mine, and then we'll kind of dive into some other stuff. Obviously,
So on paper, obviously, the trade sucks. Like, let's just call it like it is. It's a bad trade for the Celtics. But I'm going to tell you guys something. This all happened, and I know it's a lazy take, but it's true. This all happened because the Celtics didn't get Giannis, and let's be honest, Brad didn't really have a backup plan. Like I think Brad Stevens, this is the first time that you can question him a little bit. Now, do I still have faith in Brad Stevens? Yes, I do. Do I think this is the end of their offseason moves? No, I don't. I think they're going to do something with those picks to get a player like Trey Murphy or get another star, whether it's this year or 2 years from now, whatever. They're going to get somebody because there's no way that Brad Stevens and the Celtics organization is going to be fine with the starting lineup of Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Paul George, and Mitchell Robinson. Like there's no way. And I think the reason that I'm not freaking out like everybody else is because I do think there's something else in there. I don't think Brad is just going to make this move and then be like, yeah, we're good. Because they only save about 3 million. That's
Mhm.
all they saved this year with the flopping of Jaylen Brown and Paul George's contracts. And it's funny, before, just real quick on off topic, I made a list of all the sports trades or Boston sports athlete that have left in just the last 5 to 7 years. This is a pretty stacked list. You guys want to hear it real quick?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
me too.
I tried to get from every sports team, so the big four, so the Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots.
Uh,
I tried to get a little bit of each, and it's either they got traded out of Boston or they left Boston in free agency. So
uh, yeah.
so here are the names: Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Marcus Smart, Anthony Simons, Mookie Betts, Rafael Devers, Xander Bogarts, Charlie Coyle, Brad Marchand, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski.
Once I knew you were going to get to Brad Marchand, and I know out of the three of us, I'm probably the bigger hockey fan out of everybody.
Yeah.
That was picture what Celtics fans are going through, but it was just more. It was crazy. Yeah, that was God. I knew you were going to get to it too, and that was horrible.
Didn't even include Welker and Moss either.
I know. That's crazy too. Yeah, exactly. So there's more. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
And I think, at least for me, I've kind of become numb to it because when the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts and when Brady left, it's like, okay, anybody's up for grabs now. Like if Tom Brady's not going to stay with the Patriots his whole career and Mookie Betts can get traded in the absolute prime of his career, then anything's possible. And that's not to be funny with the Celtics, championship motto in '08.
Anything's
Anything's
possible.
possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I see this trade, I do like the fact that Brad at least tried to get VJ Edgecombe in this trade. Obviously, it was unsuccessful, but at least he was trying to push it. Obviously, you know, you don't get credit for something that didn't happen. I understand that. But like I said, Jaylen Brown has meant so much to this city. The fans love him. The fans genuinely love Jaylen Brown. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. He helped a ton in the community, and I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that about Jaylen Brown. But let's also put it in perspective here. Jaylen Brown put his foot in his mouth with his Twitch streams when he said this was his favorite season, right after they got bounced after being up 3-1 on Philly. So when he says that, Brad Stevens is thinking, okay, you want to be like that? Fine. Giannis is out there. We're going to try to trade you for him. And again, I know you guys were very much against the idea, but now at least you could have swallowed it a little bit. You could have been able to accept it a little bit more, right? If Giannis was here.
Yeah, knowing that he was that ultimately Brown was leaving.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that after.
Okay, so Liam, you shook your head no. So before I continue, I want to ask you this, and you can't say keep Jaylen Brown because it just was not happening. What's a move that you would have been okay with? Because you're not okay with Giannis. You're saying that this is a crazy trade, which I understand, and I'm with you. I'm just curious as to what you were thinking as the Celtics guy. What could you have gotten that you're like, okay, this is decent?
I mean, offhand, I don't particularly know because you float the Trey Murphy stuff, and like, does Trey Murphy really move the needle? Like, yes, he's super efficient. He's also on the Pelicans. Like, no one gives a fuck. People are leaving him open. People don't care to guard him because you're up 60 on the Pelicans after the third quarter. Like, it doesn't matter when you're playing the fucking Pelicans. It's the Michael Carter Williams effect where it's like, oh, you can put up all these great numbers on a bad team. No one really gives a shit. Would he be good in Brad Stevens' system? Yeah, probably because you shoot a ton of threes and you just run the floor. He'd be like Anthony Simons. He'd be super entertaining, but he'd probably be gone
So
quickly.
So again, who is somebody that you'd be like, okay, this is at least a step in the right direction?
Like, I'm just mad that they had to force a trade at all because then they're floating these rumors that like, oh, Brown for Drew Holiday and some of the Blazers players, and I'm like, we just got rid of Drew Holiday. I love Drew Holiday. I would trade anything for Drew Holiday. Let's not get that twisted. But like, why are you gonna trade Brown for the dude you just let walk? Who's way older? Like that's just dumb. Like it just seemed like they were grasping at straws. Like it's not a great option. It's far from perfect, but like, dude, I would have taken my shot with Kawhi Leonard before I did any of these other guys. And like, yes, Kawhi is almost a guarantee that he never plays. which is a huge problem with me and Giannis. But at least when Kawhi plays, like, God damn it, if you're not, in theory, going to win a championship, or you're going to be in position to win a championship, or at least everyone's going to think you're going to win a championship, because when he plays, he's really fucking good. So, like, I would have rather done something like that. I don't have another particular trade offhand. I was just spitballing with that one. But like, I'll be damned if you can't go out there and check the market. Like Jimmy Butler is coming off a torn ACL for the Warriors. Not ideal situation. I'd rather have Jimmy Butler at whatever age he is right now. There are a ton of players that if I just racked my brain, thought who would I really like to have out there? Shit, I'd take Kyrie Irving back, even though he would never come back to Boston. Like there are a ton of people I would rather have over Giannis and goddamn Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the thing that I think about too. Jaylen Brown's big thing is he wanted to be a number one option. Is he even the number two option on Philly? Because let's be honest, Maxi's probably the number one option now at this point.
Because you trust the process.
I mean, not at all. You trust it more than anybody.
I mean, that game 7, he looked pretty good, right?
Second round. But anyways,
Game 7 looked pretty good.
So here's the thing, though. He's probably going to be, on most nights, a number two option or a number three option to Maxi, right? So now he's right back where he started, and probably worse, to be honest. At least with the Celtics, he was the clear-cut number two, and he was the number one this past season with Jason Tatum being hurt. So now you're going to go to a team, which, again, I know it's Brad making the call, but do you really think Jaylen Brown's going to be happy about the fact that he has to be with Joel Embiid, who, by the way, on his Twitch stream, called him a flopper? So that's going to be really good. And then you have VJ Edgecombe, who the Celtics asked about, but didn't get, obviously, and then Tyrese Maxey. Now, the team is good on paper, but at the same time, I don't know what's going to happen with Jaylen Brown. I don't know how he adapts to Philly. But you know what? At the end of the day, this was a salary dump. It's not great. He got 4 picks out of it, and Paul George. I don't see Paul George being on this roster come October. Like 2 firsts, 2 seconds, right? But I don't see Paul George being on this roster. I think they flip him for either more picks or they put him in a trade package with somebody else. I can't see him being here with his $57 million contract this upcoming season. I just can't see it. So it's a sad day. It's a bad day. Thank you, Jaylen Brown, for everything. Thanks for the 2024 title. But damn, like, it sucks. Another Boston homegrown star out the door because of money.
Yeah. Like you said, Al, sad day, bad day. This is a horrendous trade, no matter how you look at it, from who you traded him to what you got from the fact that you are forcing this trade when it really doesn't need to happen. Don't give me shit about the second apron, because they don't need to be under the apron this year. You need to be under it 2 out of 4 years. They were under it last season. They could have waited 2 more years to be under the apron. So don't give me that shit. The fact that, like you said, Al, even though Liam and I did not want Giannis, if that is your plan, that is your plan A. You clearly didn't have a fucking plan B. So make that happen, because now you're dealing with a 36-year-old Paul George who probably isn't going to be that great because he's coming off a 25-game steroid suspension. So who knows if he can even really play without that little help. And I like Paul George, so I hate that I have to now think about him like this. When it comes to picks, I don't give a shit about draft picks, because NBA draft picks aren't always like the NFL ones where they instantly come in and make an impact. This could be a 2 to 3 year, where we start to see these picks from when they're brought to the team, to see their, the fruits of their looms and all that shit. Like, and at that point, what's going to happen with Jason Tatum? Poor Jason Tatum, you are and I know that it's a weird thing to say, but you are wasting some good years of Jason Tatum, because Paul George isn't going to help. Mike Conley isn't going to help. Mitchell Robinson is a nice piece, but you need to do more. And I am just talking about this trade, not if they're going to do more. But
Mike, let me ask you something real quick.
No, go ahead.
Quick question. Do you think if Jason Tatum went up to Brad Stevens and was like, listen, do not trade Jaylen, do you think, first of all, that gets leaked at all? And second of all, do you think that they still make the trade, because I think Jason Tatum could have very easily been like, I need Jaylen. Like, I need him here. We can still win here. We just got to put other pieces around it. But if he didn't say anything and he's just like going with the flow, don't you want a little bit more from your leader, supposedly, in Jason Tatum?
Tatum has never been that guy from
Right.
everything that we've heard. He's never so, and that's fine. And as Brad Stevens, I put more faith in Brad Stevens, where he's not gonna be the coach that goes out to the mound and says, "Oh no, I'm not going to take you out of the game, pitcher," and then have you give up a game-winning home run. I put faith in Brad Stevens that he will do what's best for the team, regardless of what his star says. Now, if Tatum comes up to him and he kind of feels it out that Tatum would be the most disgruntled person in the world, okay, then you try to figure things out. But clearly that didn't happen. So Brad Stevens, who we all put faith in to put the best team on the court, you're not doing that. You are a worse team today. The Sixers are, and this is all on paper, a better team than you. The Knicks are a better team than you. The Heat are a better team than you. The Pistons are right there with you. And I'd even say they're better than you, assuming they keep what's his name, Jalen Duren, and they got Cunningham over there as well. I know they just got rid of Tobias Harris, but he's whatever. Like,
He's gonna be sick on the Spurs.
You were up 3-1 against the team that you just sent your second best player to. How is that a smart idea? Because like you said, Liam, Jaylen Brown is the type of guy that's going to go off for 50, 12, and 9 against you every single time he plays you. And guess what? Jason Tatum can only do so much by himself. Who are you going to get? Like you said, Trey Murphy, he's nice, but he is now just a piece, and he is not as good as Jaylen Brown.
No.
So you still aren't good. Like my whole just issue with this is it didn't need to happen. You could have sat down, put your pride away, Brad Stevens, and sat down with Jaylen Brown, with Jason Tatum there, whoever, with Joe Mazzulla, who I'm going to talk about him in a second because we have to have a talk about him.
Bring in
well.
Drake May just for the fuck of it.
Dude, whoever, and say, hey, we are sorry that we keep shopping you, okay? But we couldn't get the deal done. So this is what we want to do. We want you to be a part of this. We're going to give you the extension, or however you want to word it. We want to keep the best duo in the league together because, like I said, you were up 3-1 without that duo. Keep that together. But instead, what happened, like you said, Al, it's a salary dump. You salary dumped someone who was in the running for the MVP last year. That is fucking malpractice.
And by the way, I have a tweet from Adam Himmelsbach, who writes for the Celtics for the Boston Globe, and he's as locked in as anybody with this Celtics team. One thing that's been reiterated to me by sources today, and this was about 5 minutes ago, this tweet came out, Jaylen Brown never asked out or requested a trade. So maybe Jaylen finally took the time, and again, sorry to cut you off, Mike, but, maybe Jaylen Brown took the time to be like, maybe I could stay. JT and I are still in the primes of our careers here. Maybe something could happen. But again, I do think that it was the Twitch streams. It was just always figuring out, okay, who is the number one? Is it Jason Tatum? Is it Jaylen Brown? A lot of people said Tatum, but a lot of times Brown was playing better than Tatum. The 2024 Finals MVP says that, at least for that series. So now you're looking at this, and it's like, we got rid of Jaylen Brown. You didn't get Giannis Antetokounmpo, which I still think would have been better than any of this, but that's whatever. So now, what's the next move? You're still in free agency. I like the Mitchell Robinson signing. I've said that before, because they get an actual offensive rebounder, a guy that's physical, a guy that's tough. And let's be honest, Celtics teams the last couple of years have been a little mentally weak. Let's call it like it is. Mm-hmm. They're fragile. They are.
He sucks.
But at least you get a different type of big man, and you don't get a Kristaps Porzingis that can't stay on the court. You don't, and
this team can't stay on the court.
I don't know about that, but I am so glad. That Neemias Queta is going to be on the bench because he's better off the bench.
That's where he should be. Yeah.
That you just solidified your bench more by moving Queta to the bench. So again, like Mike mentioned earlier, you signed Mike Conley, who's 38, but he's still a scorer. And veteran leadership. And that's what I think the direction is now. Bring in a couple older guys to mentor Jason Tatum, to help the young guys out, and bring a level of mental toughness. But now the question is, what's next? Go ahead, Liam.
So Mitchell Robinson has missed 37% of his regular season games. 37%. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
fuck ton of games. If I said, Al, when you walk out your house next, there's a 37% chance you're going to get hit in the head with a bowling ball, you would wear a helmet at least, or you wouldn't go outside. 37 is a very high percentage. Secondly, Mike, I think you made an excellent point. The whole thing just seems short-sighted to me from Brad Stevens' point of view because there clearly wasn't a backup plan. In the wise words of a famous Prussian field marshal, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. And he didn't survive first contact and didn't have a backup plan afterwards. And I think it's absolutely egregious. I'm furious. I know.
Yeah, no, that's what it comes down to. And Al, I know you said like, like would Brown be disgruntled? He wants to be the number one. Jordan and Pippen weren't fond of each other. Shaq and Kobe had their issues. LeBron seemed to hate every other person who was on the team with him. He didn't like Luca. He didn't fuck with Anthony Davis. The Celtics, they all hated Rondo at one point. They all kind of shunned Ray Allen for like a little bit. Like that just happens.
Yes, they should have. Ray Allen's a snake.
Do you know whose job it is to manage that? It's not Brad Stevens' job. It's Joe Mazzulla's job. I would like to call Joe Mazzulla to the front of the classroom with you guys real quick. You're up 3-1. And we haven't talked about the Celtics on this podcast because obviously we're a Patriots one. But I want to just bring this up. Why is he not getting more heat? For the last few years, or really it was just last year. So we'll just talk about that, especially with the 3-1 Sixers lead that you had. Joe Mazzulla's either inability or unwillingness to adjust is what lost them that series.
Yes.
Sure, the players' shots weren't falling. You know what you do when you're up 3-1 and everybody, you'll have all your Madden players who are like, no, you don't. You stay aggressive. You keep going. No, you don't. You do what the Patriots did against the Broncos in that snow game and you run the clock. You win the game. Because guess what happened? The more important thing is winning and advancing, not how you win. Joe Mazzulla, I don't understand how Brad Stevens and company looked at that and went, wow, you know what we should do? We should get rid of Jaylen Brown instead of trying to fix things. But if they were going to do that, I can't believe that Brad Stevens said, you know what? We're going to trade him for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But whoa, we're not going to go all in, though. You want X, Y, and Z too? No. You should want Jaylen Brown. He's that good. Either do it or don't. I don't think they should have. And that's where I'm at right now. But my issue with Joe Mazzulla is the dude will not change how he plays or how he coaches. I don't think he is a smart coach. I don't think he's a great NBA coach. He relies far too much on analytics because all this team's going to do next year is the same bullshit that got them beaten the playoffs against the Sixers. So sure, he's probably happy he has Paul George because you know what Paul George likes to do? Shoot the three. You know what Mike Conley likes to do? Well, actually, he's more of a point guard, but whatever. Mitchell Robinson has never shot a three in his life, which is great. But like, I don't, now I'm looking at the team as it is because Jaylen Brown is gone. So now what are you stuck with? You're stuck with Peyton Pritchard. You guys know how I feel about him. Derek White, who is very clearly starting to fall apart. I know we all still like him, but he is not who he is. You have Jason Tatum, who is coming off a huge injury. So you expect him and maybe you get Trey Murphy. And you got the corpse of Paul George to carry this Mazzulla ball, run and gun, 3-and-D. It doesn't work. This team, even if they kept Jaylen Brown, they still needed to change their philosophy. So it's like a double layered thing why I'm pissed. I'm pissed that Jaylen Brown's gone. And now I'm pissed that Mazzulla, that they couldn't just make it work. Because this team, I know, they've only won one title in 8 years. Do you know why? It's because of the way this team plays basketball, not because of the players. So I think this is a failure on so many fronts. The fact that you sent him to the Sixers too, like, what are you doing? But the Mazzulla.
Do you feel the same about Mazzulla?
Yeah, that's what I want to ask you guys.
I'll stay consistent with it. I think that if they get off to a really bad start this upcoming year, his seat is gonna be warm at the worst, maybe even hot. But again, and I'm not agreeing with this, but he had a couple of, ace in the hole cards where you had your number one player not around for 80% of the season. And the year before, you had Kristaps Porzingis that was out of the playoffs, and he was a big part of your championship team. And when he wasn't around against the Knicks, it made things hard. And when he played, he wasn't himself because he had, that thing that he had. I forget exactly what it was.
When he was on the court, though.
Say that again.
Nothing.
No, I just didn't hear what you said.
No, I said it made me hard when he was on the court, though.
There you go.
Hard. It's hard for a coach that doesn't know how to adjust, or maybe isn't a great coach. Sorry, I'm out on everything right now. Sorry, I'm very negative.
No,
I'm sorry.
I think that's a level-headed point of view to have. It's the wait and see. Like, let's see how this goes. I really have absolutely no criticisms of him that are very big. Like, I would have the criticisms. I talked to Mike about this over text not too long ago, but is there some stuff late in the game, final play decisions, rotations, clock management, stuff like that I'm like, what are we doing here? It kind of reminds me of Andy Reid back in the day with the Eagles, where like, okay, there's 2 minutes on the clock and you're not running the speed offense here. What are we doing? But those are small criticisms in the grand scheme of things, and Joe Mazzulla has had nothing but absolute success since being here. 2 finals appearances consistently in the playoffs. I forget what the stats were, but I sent them to Mike at the time. I think it was he made it within a series of the finals 3 out of 6 times or something of the sort.
You said twice he made it to the finals? Once. Because in 22,
oh, yeah, that
22
was,
Ime, because Ime was still
about
there.
that. Yeah, he did do that, didn't he?
Sorry. Just
Great correction, Al.
Yeah.
Proving my point
Yeah.
more. Tremendous correction,
100%.
because I
No,
forgot
that's a good
about
call.
that too.
But I can't remember what the stat was, but the vast majority of Missoula's seasons, he's been within a series of the finals. He makes it consistently deep into the playoffs. And we did win a championship after being starved since 2008. I think that's worthwhile, and you don't really get rid of somebody like that.
No, exactly. I agree.
You guys want to hear something crazy? So I'm on DraftKings right now, and I'm just looking at futures for NBA champions. Do you want to know what odds the Celtics are in terms of like first, second, whatever for winning the NBA Finals? They're fourth. They're fourth. They're fourth in the NBA. You want to know what the Sixers are with this trade?
7th.
They're 5th. But the gap between the Celtics and the Sixers, like odds-wise, is monumental. So you have the Spurs and the Thunder at plus 270. The Knicks are plus 850. They just won it all. It makes sense. The Celtics are plus 1100. You want to guess what Philly is even with the trade?
13
or something. What is it?
2200.
Whoa.
They're plus 2200. So
yeah, that's dumb. That's a dumb list.
But again, DraftKings is a Boston-based company, so like they're gonna have a little favoritism toward the Celtics. Mm-hmm. But again, I do think that there has to be something coming down the pipeline. And I do think that even if they're not like successful next season, I think the following season, when they can clear the books and everything again, I think you're going to see them be really aggressive and get back to trying to win championships for the next 2 to 3 years while Tatum's still in his prime and going to be entering his 30s.
So you're essentially kicking the can of success down the road, or like you might be. You have no idea what is going to happen after this season. Tatum might get hurt again. Another player might get hurt again. Another player from another team might get hurt, which forces them to make a big trade, which would change a trade that you would have made. Like, you have no idea. My issue with this is you are now, again, kicking the can of success down the road because you either didn't want to deal with the little stressfulness of having Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which I don't think once you roll the ball out, I don't think there's that issue because they don't hate each other. They might not be best friends, but like the team, there was never this like crazy fireworks going on within the team. It was always between Brown and ownership, or whoever was signing his checks, or I don't know if him and Missoula had issues, but just like that's what it was. Like, I hate that you are, after we just saw Tatum have a huge injury, come back and then have to sit back out again. We have no clue how much longer we have of like prime potential MVP Tatum. And what Brad Stevens did was say, you know what? We are going to kick that can down the road because money, because, Jaylen Brown said it was his favorite season, which pissed me off, but I'm a fan. It should piss us off. You are chief basketball operator of the team. You should be smarter than that. You should be smarter than your average fan walking around the streets in Boston saying, yeah, dude, you got to get fucking Jaylen Brown out of here. His best season was when Tatum wasn't here. What the fuck? That's how we can feel. You are a professional. You are running a team. And I just think that this is a massive misstep. And I would love to be wrong. And if we are, and if they flip some trade and they get some great player or something, of course, we'll talk about it again on here because it's a little bit of a dead time right now in the NFL world. But it is tough right now for me to see the forest through the trees right now with this, Al. Like that's what it comes down to.
It is. And also look at everything else that's happened in the past, like 5 years, right? The Patriots were at the bottom. They were at they were in the basement of the NFL, 2 back-to-back 4 and 13 years before last year. The Red Sox have just that's all I need to say about that. The Red Sox are the Red Sox.
Move on.
And then
Red Sox made him stutter. He's so upset.
Right. And then the Bruins, it's like they don't do anything. Jeremy Jacobs is cheap as an owner too.
Yeah.
So
They're
right
trying.
now,
they look good today. The Bruins look good today with the moves they made,
which is saying a
the
lot.
Celtics.
Right. And that's where, like, the last couple of years, what if we had to help us get through? It's been the Celtics. And the Celtics have been good. You watch them every night. It's like, okay, you have a really good chance to win. The championship year was so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Every night you went out, you're like, okay, they got this game. And if they lost the game, it's like, whatever. Like, they lose the buzzer, they're going to go on a 5-game win streak.
It's like, we've lost 16 games all season. We're going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. With the starting lineup that the Celtics have right now, projected. So Derek White, Pritchard, Tatum, Paul George, Mitchell Robinson. Where does that rank amongst just the Eastern Conference in terms of lineups? Now, I have a couple lineups here that I can read to you guys just for context. So the Knicks, you got Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns.
They're better.
Dogs.
Okay. For Cleveland, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen.
On paper, better will melt down in the playoffs.
Close. They're close. Yeah, that's a coin flip.
This one, they should be better than. Mitchell, Hardaway Jr., Wiggins, Giannis, Bam. Celtics are better than the Heat. We can at least agree on that, right?
Again, on paper, but the Heat always overperform.
Yes.
Maybe. No, actually, I don't think so. Because I don't think the starting lineup of Derek White, Fast Peepee, Jason Tatum, Mitchell Robinson, and old-ass Paul George is better than that. I don't think so. I think that Giannis and Bam would bully the shit out of that team.
Oh, by the way, that Giannis trade, remember when the Celtics didn't want to trade Hugo Gonzalez or one of their younger players?
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if they threw Hugo or they threw Baylor Shireman, Jordan Walsh, whoever, in that trade, and they got that deal done. Now people are like, holy smokes. You got Tatum, you got Giannis, you got Derek White that'll hopefully have a resurgent year. Now we just got to add a couple pieces here and there, because let's be honest, Mitchell Robinson doesn't come here if Giannis is here. Let's just put that out there now.
No.
But I think, like we've said, and I'm gonna reiterate it, there was no true backup plan if you struck out on Giannis. Mm-hmm. And now, like Trey Murphy, I know, Liam, you said he plays for the Pelicans, they get killed, whatnot. Still shot 42%, I think, from 3-point land, which
definitely.
Which Like if he came here, you'd be like, great, that helps your starting lineup even
It's
more.
something. Yes. Like it's better than nothing. It's better than a lot of players they got. I do like him. I just see all these posts on Instagram like, man, Trey Murphy could really save the Celtics season. I'm like, who are we talking about? Are you
Right.
trading for Jason Kidd? Why are you saying it like Trey Murphy is this monster? He's really like he's an above average role player. And role players now in the modern league average over 20 and shoot wildly efficiently. That's just it. The scales have moved for role players.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this team is going to be in the fall. I don't know what, training camp's going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen here because
Yeah.
there's so much uncertainty. And by
Mhm.
the way, let's call it spade a spade here. Whit Grousbeck is still in charge of everything. If he was, this doesn't happen. The
No,
fact that Dollar Bill, by the way, they're calling him Dollar Bill Chisholm.
I heard that.
Yeah, he's living up to that nickname because he's basically saying, yeah, pennies on the dollar here. Make sure to reset the books and everything. Like stay under the first apron, which I think is the wrong message to send.
Al, you know what this reminds me of? Liam, actually, Liam, you're a fucking a super baseball fan recently. You've been to like every game the last like week. This reminds me of the Red Sox, Al, in the sense that they're acting like a small market team. You are the Boston Celtics. I don't give a shit how much money you have to spend or you're thinking whatever. You don't, because like I said, you don't need to get under that second apron this year. If there's no trade, then you know what? Ride the year out. God forbid you win a championship, and then who knows what happens there. Or maybe
That's my point.
you do a sign and trade with Brown because you don't know what's going to happen next year. What happens if next year Luka tears his ACL and the Lakers need someone? Or like just like throwing random
Yeah,
names out. But like you know what I
right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
what if that happens? But no, they did this because reasons. Like it's just upsetting. But that's what it makes me think of, Al. I hate like that's why seeing uh the Patriots out of every team of the big four in Boston right now, spending money is so refreshing because guess what? Yeah, you're the New England Patriots, you're the Boston Celtics, you're the Red Sox, you're the Bruins. Spend money. You're not the I don't know. You're not the. I don't even want to say the Milwaukee Brewers because they're kind of good now. But like you're not them. You're not like the Arizona Cardinals who no one wants to go to. Like spend money, and it just seems like this like spits in the face of every diehard fan who is like sell your soul to win a title. And like you said, Dollar Bill Chisholm over there is like, well, actually, if we can get under the apron and in 2 years, we'll actually be right here. And then maybe we draft LeBron's other son. Like maybe we do this. Like,
Yeah.
shut up. It's so annoying. It just sucks going into this year. Like looking at it just as a fan, not doing a podcast, analyzing stuff. It sucks because you lost a duo that's been here for 8 years. Like you said, Al, Jaylen Brown, for the most part, loved in this town. Of course, maybe he's a little quirky. We all liked him. This team, there's so much uncertainty where it looks like there shouldn't have been, there didn't need to be. It sucks. That's all it is. This move
And
just sucks.
can we also agree too that in our lifetime, Jaylen Brown is probably one of, if not the most underappreciated Boston sports athlete? Again, just in our lifetime. Can we agree on
He's up
that?
there, man. Yeah, he's up there. You know what? Actually, hey, this is I'm calling it now. Next week, Mount Rushmore underappreciated Boston athletes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm
I
curious
like
because
that
I
one.
don't know about that.
I like that one. So I don't wanna throw any real names, but I think he is. I think he deserves to be on the list somewhere.
I will we'll just say that he would be on all of our lists and we won't put him on there because I don't know.
I
Because
don't
I
know if
think
he'd be on. He
well
might be. I don't. I have to think about it.
just because again, like think about it in his second season. Now keep in mind this was Jason Tatum's rookie year. The Celtics were thinking about potentially trading him for Paul George back then when
Oh
Paul
my
George was a
god, dude!
Pacer.
Don't
So
even
like
fucking. Oh my God,
no,
I
but
forgot.
for real, like they were working on a deal and there was momentum toward a deal to get Paul George to come to Boston 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
10 years
right,
ago.
right. And that's part of the problem is that I don't know what direction they're going in because, again, I know I'm just repeating myself, but 36-year-old Paul George, 38-year-old Mike Conley. I get it. I get the veteran leadership a little bit, but you really got to think about, and also the Celtics are thinking about moving to like a new stadium in like South Boston or whatever, South Station.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's a lot
Got to
going on
save money
here,
for that. Got to save money to make the new stadium.
and I don't know. It's now that I talk about this more, like I'm still holding on to the. I think there's more to be done, but I really don't like this trade. Now, if you got like 4 first round picks, then it's like okay, you got something here. And again, I just for some reason I'm still gonna hold true to my word that I think Paul George is not on this roster come opening night in October. I just can't see it.
I mean, we'll
We can
see.
all hope and pray.
Yeah. I mean, if
I'm just
there's
happy
another
he's not
thing,
on the fucking Sixers.
see,
Thank
that goes to
God.
show, like, we have a Sixers fan here who is like,
I'm
this is
so
a great
psyched.
trade.
I'm like, this is
Like,
fucking incredible. My buddy who's a Sixers fan texts me, he goes, I'm so bricked up right now. Did you see this? I'm like, yeah,
as you
dude.
should be. He should
Yeah.
be, you should be, everybody should be. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Al, like you said, like if you want to hold out hope for another move, I think they should make another move, but I don't think it's going to be anything that moves the needle. I think you'll get maybe a starter for something, but nothing that's going to be crazy. You'll have to fill out the bench a little bit, I'm sure, unless they really want to rely on the young guys and kind of move forward there. And if you're doing that, I think you're doing a disservice to Tatum. But I don't know. Shit, maybe LeBron comes here. But LeBron's not coming.
How fast does Jason Tatum request a trade?
No,
How long do you give it?
you know why, man?
I'll
Tatum loves
scream.
Boston. I think he wants to be here. To me, I mean, we brought him up earlier. He's like your Brad Marchand type to me, where like, I think he wants to, if he's gone, it's going to be because the team shipped him out to get under the second apron or some stupid shit like that. I think Tatum loves Boston so much where he might relish the opportunity to like, you know what? I see the fan base is down. Let me go out there this year and like put the team on my back. The issue is, can his physical health handle that? I don't know. We don't know. It's another question we don't know going into the year. So, do you guys on this Tatum thing? I mean, on this Brown thing, kind of final thoughts, wrap up thoughts before we get out of here?
Just again, thanks for 10 years, JB. I mean, when's the last time we've heard a Boston athlete be with Boston for 10 years? Like that's how rare it is nowadays to have that tenure. And I mean, NBA champ, got a big contract, finals MVP, all NBA. He did everything he could here. And I can't thank him enough for giving me some of the best Celtics memories in these last 10 years, especially right after the KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen era, where there was that transition and we all saw it. And look at what that trade got us. Got us Jaylen Brown. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss Jaylen Brown. I genuinely am. But
me too.
I'm still gonna also
I
say
guess I don't have to.
no, you don't. I'm still gonna say like I don't think it was the right move necessarily, but it was time for a change, and unfortunately, it came at the expense of losing Jaylen Brown, and it sucks. But curious to see what they do now.
He was the longest tenured. No, not the longest tenured. Pasternak was the longest tenured, but yeah, Brown was the second longest tenured Boston sports athlete,
How
if I
long's
remember
Pasta?
correctly.
How long's Pasta been around?
He's been here since 2014, so he's
Oh,
been here for a
jeez.
while.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I
He'll
think he's
get
been here 1 year sooner than Brown
Yeah.
because Brown's been here what 8 or 9 years, 10 years or so, I think. So yeah, he's been here a little longer. But
he'll get traded too. Just wait.
I
Just wait.
mean,
Good time.
they were talking about it. They were talking about it, but no, they're trying to do stuff. But yeah, Liam, as a Philly fan and a Celtics fan, final thoughts on the Jaylen Brown trade.
Devastated and jazzed up. From a human standpoint, I think Al took the cake there. It's always sad to see your favorite athlete go, and when I think of in my mind Great players that I love dearly that left my teams. I always remember where I was when it happened, and it forever locks me into that moment. I'll never forget when the Eagles traded McNabb on Easter when I was like 10 years old, and I threw a fit and wouldn't hang out with my family, and it ruined my entire Easter. I remember when Wes Welker was traded from the Patriots overnight, and I woke up for school the next day and found out Wes Welker was a fucking Denver Bronco. That one sucked. And there are just so many moments where a dude gets traded. I remember exactly where I was, and I was grilling today, and I looked down at my phone, and it had been buzzing off the hook, and sure enough, and I was like, no shit. And it's sad. It sucks. Like Al said, there are a ton of incredible moments that I'll remember him for. But much like AJ Brown, if he's going to go anywhere, I'd rather him go to, a team that I like. So it's bittersweet, and I look forward to continuing my relationship with Jaylen Brown. It's an end to a lot of people, but for me, it's just another chapter, and it's going to be really, really good.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah,
I hate you.
isn't he
No,
the worst?
Nomar for me was the first big player that got traded.
Mhm.
That might be a little too in the past for you youngins. Al, I know
No,
you're
What was
creeping up
that,
on my age.
1989? What was that?
No,
that was
no, that was
2004.
2004. Yeah, that was the year
Right.
they won. Traded him for they got Orlando Cabrera to fill his spot, and
Yeah,
then
that trade was Cabrera, it was Dave Roberts, and it was Doug Minkiewicz.
oh
Wasn't
yeah, Dave
Cabrera
Roberts.
juicing?
Yeah, people.
No,
Ooh,
you're thinking Miguel Cabrera, I think.
no,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
Well, here,
Orlando
here,
Cabrera.
here, real quick before we go, Liam, do you remember the infamous stolen base in the
I,
'04 ALCS? You don't remember that?
He was probably
It,
I
like
it's been
don't
played,
watch baseball.
it's been played iconically for
the
years.
play. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
I'm
knew
sure
Go,
he
I've
was
seen it.
all
stealing.
right,
Yeah.
go look up after this one homework assignment for you. Go look up Dave Roberts stolen base 2004. He was
Electric.
one of the players in the Nomar deal, and that essentially helped the Red Sox come back against the Yankees and then win the World Series
Yeah, I
that
know
year.
they came back from 3-0 down.
Right.
Yeah, electric. Everybody knew he was stealing that. Everybody. They threw over a couple times, but he still got it. Yeah, it was crazy. Um, yeah, oh God, Doug Mankiewicz, forgot about him. But yeah, this trade sucks. Al, I hope you're right that they end up doing more. And by more, I don't mean get a ninth guy off the bench or something like that, like actually do something, but we'll see. But yeah, next week I feel like I like the actually we can do one of two things. We can do most underappreciated Mount Rushmore, or we can do biggest Boston sports trades that kind of crushed us, Mount Rushmore.
Ooh,
So
They're both good. Let's ponder
we'll
it
think
over.
about
We'll
it.
talk in the group
Yeah.
chat. Yeah.
we
Yeah,
will.
it'll be one of those next week. Um and then yeah,
And then by the way, announcement, Mike, we talked about this announcement. You're the one that actually came up with the idea.
Hmm.
Do you want to announce it now?
No, you got it. You got it. Sorry.
Okay. So you guys know this. If you were listening the last couple of weeks, Mike and Liam are going to be a part of my wedding. And Mike came up with the idea that between the day before the wedding, between the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner, the boys in person for a podcast episode.
I think that'd be awesome. I
It's
think that'd be so
official.
cool.
It's official. I
100%.
actually had it. Someone who listens to our podcast requested it. They were like, "Oh, you're going up there. You guys definitely should." And I was like, "You know what? I'm
We
talking to Al
totally
right
should.
now. We'll see what happens." So yeah, I think it'd be fun. Who knows what we'll talk about? It could be anything. It could be just talking about wedding stuff, our day. Could be anything that went on. It will be kind of like a free form, kind of a freestyle type
Guys being dudes.
episode. But yeah, just guys being dudes. I like it. So yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to do it, like how we record or whatever. But I think we'll figure it out where at least one smart person is on the podcast, so we'll be able to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, you guys got anything else before we leave? Before we get out of here?
I do. I do have one thing. And I'm sure you guys all heard about it, and it's a somber note. But I feel like we should at least quickly, briefly talk about it on the podcast because it's football related. I was absolutely crushed to hear the news about Chris Johnson.
Yeah, that was sad.
That kind of like came and went. I feel like not enough people talked about it.
Dude, I'm seeing everything on it and just devastating. And I
It
assume
was
you guys saw
ALS,
the
right?
interview. Yeah.
It's got ALS. Yep.
Yeah. Did you see the interview?
No, I didn't see it. I saw it, but I didn't click it.
Oh,
I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I
dude,
can't
it's
watch it.
heartbreaking. Just did you see it, Al?
I didn't. I
CJ
same as
2K,
Mike.
man.
Dude,
Ah,
it's tough watching him like that. Just that one really hurt because Mike was probably like 21 when the whole Steve Gleason thing happened, but like I had never really experienced that. And then like Eric Dane, who's like remarkably handsome and is in one of my favorite rom-coms, Valentine's Day, like he got it and
yep,
I was
Grey's
devastated.
Anatomy.
Yeah,
Yep,
and I love McSteamy, don't get it
my
twisted,
guy.
but like uh just with this one, like I think it's more or less just the wild irony of life that somebody who is so unbelievably fast, so athletically gifted, had a body that most people can dream of with ability that made him millions and made him a legend, ultimately betrays him in such a way at such a young age. And it really hits like the scary part of me where I'm like, holy shit, if that happened to me, I'd want to die. And
Hmm.
like, obviously, he eventually will, which is horrible. But man, I was like, not CJ2K.
No, it's one of those things, like you said, it's the perfect kind of like thing where you could have your body in tip top shape, like whatever it happens to be, but it just does not matter. Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like why does one person like survive through something or go through an experience and live or anything, but then it's like the other person doesn't. Like at the end of the day, it's just like it doesn't matter. Like what you
Yeah,
do, what your body is, whatever you put into it, whatever your records are, whatever your achievements and everything, it's like your
the
body
world's
is going to do what
indifferent.
it does. Yeah, it sucks. And ALS is
Yeah,
nuts, man. Seeing Eric Dane, like you mentioned him, how it was so quick and
yeah.
how like, oh, it's rough. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
because
have to
I like
watch that
hadn't
CJ
heard
2K
anything.
thing.
Dude, it's brutal. But like I hadn't heard anything. Not that like I'm fucking following Chris John. I actually do follow him on Instagram. But like I hadn't heard anything in a while.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it comes out and I was like, what is this shit? And I go and watch the interview and it just completely uprooted my morning where I was just in awe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, like you said, man, just someone CJ2K. Anybody who follows football, you know who that is. So yeah, I mean, we'll obviously kind of keep tabs on that. Any updates, we'll bring it up if we
Yeah.
must. Kind of we try to keep things as light as possible on here, but
Course.
um
Yeah, and like I'm usually not one to harp on tragedy. I usually try and make light of it. But like this one just really hit me for some reason. Maybe it's
mhm.
because I grew up watching him and like I've made drunken bar arguments using Chris Johnson as an example for years and years and years of eternal greatness. And like all the 2,000-yard rushers out there, they're all great. There's been 8 of them. But there's only been one that had 2,500 yards, and that was
Mhm.
Chris Johnson. And like
Yep.
far and away the most all total yards. Like that 2009, 2010 season. I remember watching that. I would watch a Titans game on a Sunday, and then it'd be like the 4 o'clock game because the Patriots played at 1. Then I'd immediately hop on Madden and be like, I'm going to do that. Because that season, he averaged 125.4 yards per game, which is absolutely disgusting. 2 years ago, we would have begged for Ramondre Stevenson to have that total once, and he's
It's
doing that every fucking game. It's unbelievable what he was doing. And just to see it all go like that is life's a
yeah.
cruel bitch. The world is indifferent. There's no point in living.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know.
well, we already established that weeks ago
Yeah.
with the alien stuff. Like, I mean,
Mm,
you see, I have the thing right there. The
yeah.
aliens are coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yep.
we should just kind of prepare for that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so kind of a somber episode between the bad draft picks, the horrible trade, and now this. Like,
Been
goddamn.
a
All
tough
right.
week.
So yeah, this was Talk Rule Takes. We'll uh
This
we'll
was.
we'll see you next week unless the world ends. So sweet feet, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Sweet feet, I guess.
Sweet feet.